Yay! Let's take off these rose tinted glasses. So I'll only have that phrase in my back pocket because I just did a little video involving that. It's funny, I think originally I was going to talk about nostalgia in this video, but kind of how that's affected me and whatever, but I think I'm going to save it for like a different video. Instead, I think I wanted to get into creativity again and kind of like what to do, what I do rather, to kind of keep that faucet flowing, you know. So for me, primarily my art form is I'm a musician. So I was blessed that kind of stuff comes very easily to me. You can make an argument for like how much of it gets learned, how much of it is just natural. I think it's just a matter of like whatever you never get tired of working on and working in, that's your natural gift. But obviously, you know, I think aside from like maybe a few blessed people, like you get people like freaking Prince, that type of person who's just constantly working, like it just flows out of them. I think most people do encounter roadblocks, so to speak. So it's a little bit interesting for me because I'll give a little bit of a history. Like I've never had, because I've never had like complete confidence in myself while I was growing up, which I think to really achieve a difficult dream, like you can't hesitate, you know, you have to have complete confidence in yourself. This is just through like, you know, personal experience, me observing others, me reading about other people that I look up to and how they did it, that despite all odds, you stick to it till through the ups and the downs until you achieve your dream. But, you know, I think for me, like there was a lot of no confidence. I didn't have the discipline really to stick to it. And then, you know, there's other factors, you know, like it's like I would, you know, focus in so much on it that like all that whenever something else would come up, it was like I immediately would deflate. And it's funny, like I recently picked up this book again. I'll show it to you. I thankfully have it handy on camera. This is called The Origin of Inspiration. Ooh. And there's two big events I credit, I think, with me wanting to actually give music a fair crack. The first one is when I was 17. I had a mentor I would visit every week. His name was Cruz. And he really was like down for free, by the way, because he worked as a music teacher. But he was actually down for me to go ahead to his studio. And he basically would introduce me to all these concepts about music and becoming like a music teacher, because that's what I was interested in when I was a teenager. So it's like I basically got a crash course onto the alphabet of music, let's call it that, the language, just kind of how it all works, different ways to look at it in a way that made sense to me. Like no matter how much I looked it up on my own, I could never quite figure it out. And then just different philosophies, like, you know, how to dig for information, how to better your skills, how to ask the right questions when it comes to just the music part. The other event was that book, where this book, I bought it, and it talks a lot about like feeding that passion, like feeding your passion and making sure that always stays ignited, because your passion is what's going to guide you and things are not so hot, you know, like your passion is going to be the reason you should want to do things versus like, you know, some type of end result or some type of like whatever money or whatever the heck that I think a lot of people hope to get out of it, and then that's kind of where they fail. That passion, you know, making sure you don't complain through the hardship, you just stick to your guns, you stick to pursuing that passion. I think that book helped me out a lot with that. And it's kind of funny because it kind of came back to me. Like I bought it a decade ago. It helped me a lot. I got halfway through it. I lent it to someone and then it just vanished. And it's kind of a hard to find book a little bit. So here's where I'm going to get into the meat of it. I was at a very high vibration, very high frequency. I have been. And I just, when I'm in this high frequency, I get these ideas and these downloads from what feels like a higher power, basically. And one of those was to, hey, remember that book that you always like remember at the back of your head? Go check to see if it's available. And sure enough, someone had it up for a decent price. It's a very short book, so it's kind of like one of those, like, I don't really even know if it's worth rereading, but being at a high vibe, it was a pretty clear cut, like, yeah, give it a crack. Like, there's no hesitation. And I'm rereading it right now through the lenses of me now. Not fresh, more wise lenses now that I'm 30. And it's been real nice. Like, there's some stuff that like hits differently, and there's some stuff that's like, okay, I kind of get what he's trying to say here a lot more now that I have more experience. But that high frequency thing, like being in a high vibe, I think is the source to keep your creativity going. Why is that? So historically, like I was saying, like that was my main passion, and I think through my 20s I put all my eggs into that one basket. I just want to record music and move people and write really great stuff that also brought me the same passion that I had listening to music when I was a kid. But that was it. There was no business strategy about it. I felt like to everyone I was very selfish and irresponsible. It's just a bunch of other things. Like I was very not taking care of my health. I was kind of like, I was putting all my eggs into the music basket in the sense of like everything else was kind of neglected. So there was no real strong foundation for when things would get tough, or when, distractions would come up, or when people would come up. It was very easy to just fold. And so my dreams and stuff, it became real easy to put them on pause and never really give it like 100% of a crack. So when that would happen, well, not even when that would happen, but especially when that would happen, the faucet of that creativity would just stop running. So it all does come down to like the discipline and confidence in yourself at the end of the day. It's like me, I just wanted to be like, a good son, a responsible husband, someone who just took care of himself, was very healthy, someone that was responsible, paid their bills on time. I didn't want to be a broke musician. All these things kept cropping up as like pain points that, yeah, I could sit down, and bum rush it and just focus only on making music and not think about anything else. But those pain points, that other stuff I described that I wasn't being attentive to, that stuff that I wasn't addressing, just became overwhelming. And so they overtake the voice of belief in yourself, and it starts to kind of like feel like you're walking with a really heavy backpack, and everything becomes exhausting, and there's no place, I think, for me, like to be consistently creative, because I had all that like doubt and negativity and everything else hanging over me. Like I had no pride in myself. If I couldn't handle all these other things, what makes me think that I'm going to get blessed with good ideas? So a more recent part of my journey, rather, I started addressing all those things, and there's a lot of stuff about myself that I had to fix and go, like stuff that was a lot of work, stuff that was embarrassing, stuff that was shameful, stuff that I had to like own up to. Wasn't a fun process, but I think now that I've been in it, I can safely say that the number one thing to keep that creativity going is to be at a high frequency. Because when I'm in a high vibe, I have this voice inside of me that I like to call the best version of me, and it's quick. Usually when you're in a low vibration, it's a lot of instant gratification, a lot of like quick happiness, a lot of like easy serotonin, especially if you're going through some shit, like you're stressed out and stuff. It becomes real easy to like look at whatever your vices are and immediately go, ah, yes, comfort. But by keeping my frequency high, it's like almost the first thought I have. Like, it's kind of like, that's a great idea. Let me go do that. Or sometimes it'll just straight up give me like great creative ideas where it's just kind of like, that's cool. Can I do that right now? Well, let me go, ask that voice. If it's right now, keep it in the back pocket for later. But don't ever doubt your decision. Cool. By being in a high vibe, I don't doubt my decisions. I don't doubt my thoughts. They know that what's coming through is very good, very clear. And here's what's interesting about it is that I'm a musician, but currently, like, because of bills and responsibilities and all these other things that are now important to me, right? Like, I do take my relationships very seriously in my life. That requires, time, money, commitment. Same thing with my health. I actually do, exercise and eat well. And that's also like, I can't eat like Lunchables, Cracker Stackers, so that's again, more of that. Same with like just paying like my responsibilities and stuff. Like, I can't, no one can keep that mindset of like being a broke musician. And moving forward, and probably regardless to begin with, being a broke artist is probably not the best mindset or place to be. I won't judge anyone else for pursuing it that way. Everyone's got different circumstances. And I think that's why I always try to push people that are younger than me to just grind into their creative dream, because that's the best time to do it, I think. But it's never too late to start. Now that I'm handling all those things, it's like, okay, I'm pretty busy. So now actually to be like smart about these kind of things, like how can I, slot all these creative desires in? Bonus points, like I used to be able to, sit down in the evenings and just record late into the night, kick back with a couple of Coors Banquets. It's freaking, whatever. But what used to work before, which was a lot of like, kick it back, and just let it all flow. But at the back of my head was like all these like things I wasn't addressing, right? How does one upgrade that? Now that I am addressing these things, now that I am being responsible, it's like, okay, like now I have to, like I work a lot right now currently. I probably have like a day off is what I would consider, but that day off is full of like, grocery shopping and what couldn't I do throughout the week? So one day off, most of the day I'm gone because I do a lot of app work, a lot of delivery work. So the hours aren't consistent, but I'm able to kind of like work it that like I can achieve other things and kind of work it to like where I want it for my purposes, right? Real handy. Lets me be creative also in between orders, which is where I was kind of get into with these videos, for example. I'm primarily a musician, and I even got signs from the universe. Like I used to be able to record music on the go, and my laptop recently, took a crap on me a couple weeks ago, and I was like, okay, but life doesn't happen to you, it happens for you. What is the universe trying to tell me here? Okay, well, maybe right now it's not the time to try to sit down and record music. Maybe right now is time to re-strategize and do something else. So in order to keep the creativity thing flowing, because I'm still getting all these downloads and these great ideas, if it's something relating to music, I'll save it, sure, But right now, like letting these ideas flow, I actually will sit down to make videos because that's the most I'm able to do at the moment. And it's like a completely different medium. It's like I'll be honest, sometimes it feels weird being in front of a camera. Like it took, man, I think I'm still not used to it, but maybe now, like, my confidence in myself is at least at the point where it's, I'm able to just talk completely chill in front of a camera. Like I don't really know what I'm doing in regards to this. I ramble a little too much. That's what I feel. but it still like lets me talk about what's going on. By talking about what's going on, it lets me think about where am I currently at, what's going on with me, what's my life like right now, where am I going, all these things. And in turn, it actually keeps that creative faucet completely flowing, because thinking about all these things, and now that I'm addressing all the other stuff that used to hang at the back of my head, not that it's like I've completely fixed or solved everything, but now it's not at the point where it feels like, you know, that episode of SpongeBob where there's a bunch of mini SpongeBobs running around while the brain is on fire. Now that I'm able to kind of put that at ease, thinking about my life, being real proud of what I've done, being excited for where I'm going, taking in the universe every day for what it is. Okay. That has opened up the creative faucet, and it lets me do cool things. Like I did a video the other day, and it was something real simple. I was like, well, can I like kind of like take this video I did in and make a little song about it? And sure enough, yeah, cool, it's still there. It wasn't much, just like a little piano thing, but it's still there. You know, I still can translate these inspirations and make something out of it. You know, and I got another download where it was like, should I be practicing every day? Yeah. You know, opportunity is, they say, so I've heard. Opportunity is when preparedness meets opportunity. No, I think that's the definition of success. I bungled that. But being prepared for any opportunities that might come my way with the music stuff. Oh, got a package here. Being prepared for anything that might come my way, because I love music, because it's still my dream. It's like, why wouldn't you practice and keep those skills sharp, you know? But it all stems on keeping the frequency high. By being in a high vibe, waking up early, working out every day, eating very well to my standards, those 3 core things, because that's all I'm totally in control of those 3 things. Everything else around me is out of my control. I get to stay in a high frequency, and then I get all these great ideas and downloads, and I get a sense of direction on where to go. And that prevents me, because this is why I would stop being creative, is that prevents me from making up stories, narratives in my own head, victimizing myself because of what was happening to me, shutting down that creative force for other people, whether it was to please them or whether it's because I didn't do what I was supposed to. You know, like these types of events are going to keep happening moving forward, and that would shut off the creative faucet, because it's like, yeah, these things will keep happening, but at a low vibe, you collapse. You really do. You can barely handle at a low vibe the stuff that you need to do to survive. So it's kind of like, what makes you think you're going to be able to do more than you should be for your dreams? Because it's not going to come easy. Your dreams, especially the creative ones, you know, you're going to encounter a lot of heartbreak, a lot of rejection, a lot of just creative workarounds. And being at a low vibe means that like you won't ever get that, I think, sense of direction from the universe. You won't get that best version of yourself calling out to you and saying like, hey, like you are designed for more. You're designed for everything that you want in this life, but I need you to be able to handle all this other stuff too. Or you could be a psychopath and not care and just write music for 12 hours a day and, you know, live in a closet, I guess. There's that path. But I think especially in today's world, you know, there's so much information and so much, let's say, talent out there, you know, that competition's fierce for your dreams. Even more so today, I think. And I think unless you're being the 100% version of yourself, 120% version of yourself, preferably, you won't get, I think, those good like ideas, those good downloads, that good sense of direction on where to go, what to do. You know, even when it comes to like inspiration. Topical, right? The book. What you take in, what you get inspired by. I think even that, you know, is kind of influenced by whether you're at a high vibe or not. Because a lot of this creative stuff, again, inspiration, sure, what you take in, but also consistency, keeping at it, getting back up when you fall off the horse, nay, nay, whinny, whinny. And I guess let me summarize it to end the video. But yeah, whenever I feel like I'm stuck creatively, it's actually more so time to hit pause and really look at everything externally. Look at outwards. Why am I not at a high vibe? Why am I not getting this sense of clarity and these great downloads, these great ideas coming to me? And it's usually because I'm at a low frequency. And that's all it comes down to, is just having the discipline to do that. And sure enough, and sometimes it's even as easy as like, I think I just feel a little funny. Let me actually get my heart rate pumping a little bit. You know, just do some like push-ups or something on the spot just to kind of get the blood flowing. Sometimes all it takes is that. And then it's immediately like, okay, now I'm unstuck. But that's it. You keep that faucet flowing by being at a high vibe. And I've tried it in various directions. Again, right now the music, it's a little bit on a pause because I only ever have, if I had time for it, it would probably be late at night, you know, and sometimes there is opportunities for that, sometimes there's not. But even being at a high vibe lets me pivot into just making videos and stuff for now, and kind of seeing where like that voice is going to guide me, and it's going to reintroduce a lot of this music stuff in a different way. And I think I'm kind of like working towards that, navigating that, slithering towards it. But just be at a high vibe. Being at a high vibration means you get great ideas, good downloads, happy life. People around you are happy because you exude happiness. And it just gives you direction and a purpose, I think. But that was it for this one, I think. Very quick, like, here's what I do when I feel stuck. And I hope you don't feel stuck. I hope you, whatever it is your dreams are, you keep working towards them. Consistency just means consistency. Doesn't mean that you have to take humongous strides and steps every day, but it does mean you do have to make progress consistently. And be honest with yourself, because everything that you dream about, everything that comes to you that makes you feel a certain special way, it's because you were meant for it. And it will come to you, but it won't come to you easily. If it was, I think you wouldn't enjoy it as much, personally. And we'd all, I don't know, be Abraham Lincoln, whatever. Like, I feel like I gotta learn how to end videos, but that was it. See you in the next one. Here's a little freaking extra bonus section. My girlfriend was very kind and got me this tape recorder / player at an estate sale for like $4, which is great because these things go for like way more on eBay and stuff. But pretty legit. It's got a little carrying case. You can carry it on you. Kind of reminds you of those old school detective, like here's my memo for today. Because it has a little built-in microphone, so you could sit down, you know, with your pen and paper and be like, Clarice, remind me to call Johnson back at this extension, you know? In any case, enough imitations. Check it out. It's this I think was only done because I was at a high frequency. Yeah, it was my girlfriend that had the lovely idea, of course. But, you know, if I hadn't been on top of my game, I don't think she would have been kind enough to like even bother thinking about me when it came to encountering this. But check it, no more delaying. I used this to record a little bit of piano on this, and this came from a high frequency right here. And you know, it's kind of funny. My digital setup's been out of commission for a couple weeks. So this is my first recording I've made in I don't know how long. And I think it really comes through in the music, that just how happy it makes me, and how happy this tape recorder makes me, and how happy the people in my life make me. Oh yeah. But that was it. Just wanted to show off a little bit of lo-fi goodness. And yeah, let's see, maybe we'll introduce or show off more of this thing in future videos. See ya.